Yeah, MLB Data Warehouse. Where the spreadsheets flow and the takes get spicy. John, Tim, Doc, let's go. Welcome to the warehouse, stacked to the ceilings. Exit below's flying, launch angles got a feeling. Tim in the corner with the prospect report. Reading fan graphs, blurbs like it's soft court sport. Junior and double A, Tim's losing.
Welcome to the Prospect Warehouse Podcast. This is your host, Tim Kanak. You can find me on X at Fantasy Aceball, and I am flying solo today because, of course, I was trying to get like a little behind the scenes here, trying to get Owen on the podcast because Owen is supposed to be the co-host of this show, but he's only available like once every month or whatever, even though he wants on the song. And so he's like, oh, yeah, I'm unavailable. And then he starts arguing in our text thread with Doc about a fantasy league that they're in together. And so they're arguing, and I completely missed a text message from John saying, hey, I can do this now because I'm just, inundated by arguing of Doc and Owen about a fantasy league, a 30-team league that they're in together that I'm not even in. And so I completely missed John's text. And then afterward, John is like, text me directly, and he's like, okay, I'm going to go watch the soccer game. And I'm like, oh, soccer's stupid. I don't care. So I'm going to go podcast. You want to come? And he's like, no, I'm watching soccer. So that's what's up. He's watching America. I don't really care about soccer. So here I am podcasting about prospects. And something I've been actually pretty bad about this year is talking about the in-person views I get. Last year, I would start each podcast episode by talking about who I saw in person. And I've been pretty bad, even though I've gone to I've gone to a game every single week at least. So I've seen a ton of dudes. But I did want to say that this last week on the 4th of July game, I was able to see a lot of very good players. I saw Luis Kova, who I really like. Saw him again. I really like his swing. He's really aggressive, but I just like his mechanics. I'm a Kova guy. I saw Luis Arana with the Marlins also. I've seen him a few times. He's pretty good. I think Kova is the better of the two, personally. And then the Blue Jays were in town, so I got Arjun Namala. So I saw Arjun Namala for the first time since he was in A-ball. And he actually looked pretty good. Like, I will say, I like Arjun Namala's swing a lot. Really sound, good mechanics. And I was pretty impressed. He didn't really do anything crazy in the game, but I was pretty impressed by him. I saw Jojo Parker. Jojo Parker's a big boy. Like, he reminded me of Jock Peterson. Like, he's a big guy, big kid. And he was DHing, and he hit the ball on the ground a lot. And it was only one game, but he did hit the ball hard. So I will say that. And then I saw Juan Sanchez, who I put some video up. He has such a wide stance. It's ridiculous. Like, I was like, what is he doing here? Like Jeff Bagwell style, just like super, super wide legs. I was like, I do not like his swing mechanics at all. He's going to have to change that. That is not going to fly for a major league hitter, as there's like a dog hair or something on my mic if you're watching on X or YouTube. So I did see those guys. The video is on X. You can find that video from that game, July 4th baseball game, Blue Jays and Hammerheads in Jupiter. That is all on my YouTube at Fantasy Aceball on the YouTube. All right, sorry, on the X, not on the YouTube. Talking about YouTube, if you're watching, I'm going to put some video up because we're going to get to the T10 here. And I'm going to try to produce and put video up and put up F scores and talk about these guys at the same time. So sorry if I sound like I'm a little mentally challenged or something. But I am multitasking times 3, and I'm self-admittedly terrible at multitasking. As a person who owns 8 companies with 5 businesses, I think I know what I'm good at, and that might sound like I'm really good at multitasking, but I'm really actually terrible at multitasking. When I'm doing something, I have to be like 100% in the zone on what I'm doing. So here we go. Let's try to put this video up here. Oh, magic. So here is Ramon Marquez, who is number 10 in the T10. Oh, look at that. That was a beautiful pitch. So Marquez, you can see, if you're watching, is pitching from a 3/4 arm slot. And you'll notice that a lot of the pitchers that we're going to talk about this week and from last week are like sinker ball guys. And that's his primary fastball, is a sinker. So he throws a sinker 93 to 97. So pretty good velocity on that pitch. And I'm going to give him a 45 out of 50 on it. It doesn't have a lot of swinging strikes on it, to be quite honest. But it's actually kind of interesting, the movement profile. It has 10 inches of arm side run and about 15 to 16 inches of vert on the same pitch. So that's pretty interesting. And 50% ground ball rate this year on that sinker. So a lot of ground balls. I think he's got like actually 51% ground ball rate. And last year, I think he was at a 55% ground ball rate. So big time ground ball pitcher. But that's not what makes him great. If you're watching, you're already seeing that changeup is ridiculous. 81, 82 mile, 80, 81, 82 miles an hour. It actually gets up to 85. But the changeup, that's his best pitch. And that's what you're seeing on the swing strikes on. I gave him a 65 out of 70 on that changeup. I like it a lot. Now, I talked about Brady Smith last week, and I think Brady Smith's changeup is much, like, I like it better. There's more depth to it. But this is still a 65 out of 70 changeup. There's a 35% swing strike rate at A-ball this year, 44% CSW. We don't have the statistics from high A because we don't have that pitch level data. And then he also throws a gyro slider, which I actually really like. He has a 86 to 90 mile per hour gyro slider. You can see a freeze frame there as I'm transitioning now to the F scores. And the gyro slider, I give him a 55 out of 60 on. So like I said, I actually really like that gyro slider pitch. And of course, right when I move over to the F scores, it like disappears. So let's bring him up here. Ramon Marquez, the Ramones. Oh my goodness. This is an old sheet. Look at that. Oh, here we go. 7-3. Boom. That's what I want to see, baby. All right. And look, we got his pitch level data here. Some of these pitches he's not even throwing anymore. He's only throwing sinker, changeup, and gyro slider this year. So you can see he threw 4 seamers at some point last year, I think. So let's go to the last. Let's go to this year. So going to this year's stats, basically, you can see 3 pitches right there. You got his pitch level data here from low A. The beautiful changeup on that pitch level, 35.6% swing strike rate. And you can see the movement data as well in this Tableau page. So that's why John's pages are quite honestly the best. But that gyro slider, look at this gyro slider, 26.2% swing strike rate on that pitch, 35% CSW, and an 89.4 average velocity. So I really like that gyro slider. I think it's a very solid pitch. And I think it's quite honestly underrated. His command, even though F scores really like his command, a 120 F control, I only give him a 40 out of 50 on the command. I think it will probably be a 50 grade command, but I give him a 40 out of 50. Maybe he gets to a 55. But my comp from is Logan Webb light. I think he's like honestly like a worse like he's Logan Webb with a little more velocity and a little worse command. It's kind of like what I think he is. But Ramon Marquez, really big up and coming pitcher with the Phillies, probably a top 200 pitcher at this point in time, or player at this point in time. So check that out. Oh, I should notice too, for those of you who like the behind the scenes stuff, I'm going to do this. Even though this is not our sponsor, John was putting a can last podcast of a Yangling up and said Yangling, the official beer of the Prospect Warehouse podcast or of Doc's Dynasty or whatever podcast we're doing. And now, because he was doing that, we got a sponsor. So we have a sponsor starting next week for MLB Data Warehouse podcast stream. And they're only going to pay John, even though the Fantasy Ace Ball podcast stream actually has more listeners than the MLB Data Warehouse podcast stream. And my YouTube has more viewers and listeners on the Tim Kanak YouTube channel than the MLB Data Warehouse YouTube channel. So why is John getting paid for the ads when I get more viewers on my stream? That is the question. I think that our sponsor needs to consider this. So if you're listening, potential sponsor, which is a really cool product, actually. I've never had it. And they better send me some product, too, if they want me to talk about them. But it's an athletic drink. That's what we'll start. It's an athletic drink. And I'm also the more athletic person. I think I'm probably the most athletic guy on the podcast. So I think that should also count for me getting paid. So come on, pony up your sponsor if you want me. Otherwise, I'm going to bleep you out on my stream. How about that? Anyway, that's just some behind the scenes. If you guys don't want me to talk about that again, just say, Tim, shut up, stay on the Prospect. But I think I should get paid because I am the one bringing the viewers, right? Come on. Let's just be real. Nah, I'm sorry, John. I love you. Anyway, and Doc, I love you. And Owen, I love you a third because you're only here for the third of the time you're supposed to be. All right, number 9 is David Hageman. All right, let's do this one first. Let's put up here David Hageman. This is a guy that I really like. He's been in my top 150 for like a year now at this point in time, and was traded from the Rangers to the Diamondbacks. But David Hageman, slow start to the year, and now he's been kind of catching on. So I don't know why this is backwards. I like it the other way better. A little OCD here. But this start this week, 9 strikeouts, 0 walks, 59.3% strike rate. You got to love that. And Hageman was a reliever kind of candidate, but I think he's going to be a starter. You can see he's pitching a lot now. A really good arsenal for David Hageman. He's a fastball that gets up to 98 miles an hour. I give him a 60 out of 65 on that pitch. 3/4 arm slot. He also has a cutter, a gyro slider, 84 to 88 miles an hour. I give him a 60 out of 65 on that pitch. He's got a curve or a sweeper. They call it both. Like, I don't know why. It's got, I don't know, I guess. It's got 10 inches of vertical break to it. So, like I mentioned in my write-up of him, it looks more like a dropping sweeper than a curveball because it's so fast, because it's like mid-80s. A curveball I think of as like a high 70s pitch, not like a mid-80s pitch. So that's why I call it a sweeper, even though it can be classified as a curve. Then he's got a changeup that he throws 84 to 87. I put a 40 out of 45 on that pitch. But the fastball, gyro slider, and a curve, aka sweeper, are his top 3 pitches, and could all potentially be plus. Command, 45 out of 60, great command. F scores really likes him. Scrolling back up to the F scores here: 110 stuff, 107 control, 105 FERA. David Hageman, 6'4", 215-pound righty for the Diamondbacks. My comp is Nick Pivetta, Jose Soriano mishmash. So that's my comp on David Hageman with the Diamondbacks, our number 9 pitcher. I guess I should talk about Ramon Marquez, what he did last week too. He had 9 strikeouts and 1 walk in 5 innings. So that's what Marquez did. And he's got a 90 or a 30% K- walk rate on the season. So that's what's up. Number 8 is Zaire Hope. And what we're going to do, because it's really hard to multitask. I'm sorry, people. I'm doing my best. We're going to show you some hitting stuff for him. So Zaire Hope, everybody kind of knows who he is at this point. Big dude, out of the Dodgers, AA last week. 5 extra base hits, 3 home runs, 2 steals. He's actually having a very, very nice season, like an underrated season. Let me see here if I can bring up the new dashboard. I want to bring up the new one, 2026. This is great listening, but this is what happens when nobody helps me. This is what happens when John doesn't help, when Owen doesn't help, because they're watching soccer, which is an un-American sport, instead of watching or podcasting with me about baseball. Whatever. I can't find it. I tried. So I was going to bring up John's new dashboards, but I just can't find it. So we're not going to do that. Sorry, John. We don't get to show off your new dashboards because you were not here to help produce. So that's your fault. But anyway, let's bring up Zaire Hope here on the season. My confirm is a lean Josh Naylor, and he's having a really good season, to be honest. Like, he hasn't made the T10 yet, but look, I'm going to pull his stats up on the season. He's hitting 281, 352, 498. So he's almost, like, he's not 345, but this is pretty good. 280, 350, 500 slash, 16 home runs, and 13 steals. So he's having a very, very good season. 74% contact rate. Like, K- walk is kind of just like meh. But like that's why my comp is lean Josh Naylor. He's like good despite like kind of okay under the hood metrics. He does hit a lot of extra base hits, so that's a boon to him. 142 extra base hit plus. But yeah, and he hits lefties and righties. Like Zaire Hope is a really good player. He's more athletic than he looks. He's only 5'10", so he's not a big dude, but he's a good player. And I wanted to highlight him here. And there's gonna be 2 Dodgers on this list, and he's been better. His moving OPS is very high too. So you can see, whoop, here we go. He was in a tough streak here. And let's see if we can zoom this thing in. There we go. Look at that. Here we go. This is what I want to see. Look, see, he's coming out of it. He was in a little funk. Now he's coming right back out. This is why you love these tools. I love the sliding scale and the moving OPS as you move this thing around. Though this should just say moving OPS. The fact that it says 15-day moving OPS is wrong because the days are whatever I slide this thing to. So, John, come on. Let's fix that. That's silly. If you're just watching, you don't even know what I'm talking about. All right, if you're listening, hopefully you're watching. Number 7 is Dakota Jordan. I'm going to actually put some video up of Dakota Jordan. So let's bring up Dakota Jordan. I don't need to bring up Zaire Hope. Everyone's seen Zaire Hope if you're listening to a prospect podcast, I think, at this point in time. But Dakota Jordan is a guy that I have in a ton of leagues. I have him in like every 30 team where I'm in. I have him in some very deep leagues where this type of prospect is what you want, where you're speculating. And so this is a guy who is a college guy, 22, 23 years old, 23 now. And he hits the crap out of the ball. He was drafted out of Mississippi State as like a 4th rounder. And this guy's 6 foot, but he hits the ball 118 to 119 miles an hour. So this guy has ridiculous max EVs. He had a 108.4 90th EV last year. That was better than Bryce Eldridge. So he's number 1 in the Giants org in 90th EV. Better than Bryce Eldridge, who's a really, really good player. Now, there is a little bit of a Yandy Diaz to him because he does hit the ball on the ground like 48% of the time. It's not quite like Yandy Diaz, but it is a little bit too much. It's a little bit more than you want when you're talking about power hitter. But Dakota Jordan last week hit 5 home runs. He has 15 home runs on the year now and 15 steals. And there are only 4 players in all of baseball that have 15 homers and 15 steals. Pete Crow Armstrong is the only one in the majors. And in the minors, you've got Joshua Baez and Eric Hartman. So, yeah, we got literally 3 freaking guys in the minors that have that, and only 1 major league player. So here we go. Let's put it up. Dakota Jordan. Boom. Let's check this.
3-1.
There you go. You want to listen? We can listen.
He turns and looks, but that ball is out of here. Here's the 2-0.
Look at that stance.
Driven to left and
the
gone.
way his body type
Dakota
is,
Jordan
his stance,
watches it land on top of the
my comp on him is Tyler O'Neill matched with a righty Bobby Bonilla. It's like his body type is like in his athletic profile, because this guy is also very athletic. He's very fast. He's not just hitting the ball hard. He was a 3-star wide receiver recruit, and he was recruited at Mississippi State as an S&T football player and baseball player. That's how good this guy is. He never ended up playing football, but he had the ability to. He has skills this year too. So I said 15 homers, 15 steals. But he's basically Tyler O'Neill's body with the Bobby Bonilla stance from the right side. I hope you like that. I spent a lot of time on these comps. And Bobby Bonilla, for the young listeners, is still getting paid, even though he's like 55 years old. He still gets paid like $1 million a year by the Mets.
Jordan thinks
So if you
about
don't know who
third, but he
Bobby
puts on the
Bonilla
brakes.
is,
And
you're a fool. Everyone should know who Bobby Bonilla is, because he's the only guy who's that age who's still getting paid. But yeah, that's Dakota Jordan in a nutshell. Hit tool 25-35, plate approach 30-40. A lot of swing and miss here, but power 60-70 grade power. Some people give him an 80 grade power. I just don't think he hits the angles to get an 80 grade power. So like he's not gonna ever do that. So like that's why I max him at 70, even though his raw power is ridiculous. Like he just doesn't get to the right angles for that. And a 60-60 speed. So really fun athlete, Dakota Jordan. Number 6 is Austin O'Verne, who I actually added in the league this week. I added this Austin O'Verne in the Scott White Dynasty League. So Austin O'Verne this week, Rays outfielder, just came back. He missed a month of playing time. And Austin O'Verne this week in only 4 games had 4 extra base hits, 2 home runs, and 4 steals. Yeah, he's having a really good season, Austin O'Verne. And this is his 2nd time on the T10. He has been so good that I put him on twice. So nice, I'm putting him twice. So let's throw up some video here. By the way, do you like when I say throw up? Because I'm not talking about like spewing. I'm talking about like, let's throw up a layup or something. That's just how I roll. So here he is. Boom. My comp for him is Jacob Marcy. He walks a lot. He steals a lot. He literally maxed out the speed scores on the F scores. He's got a 150. So let's put that up actually. As I'm all over the place producing, talking, you're like, Tim, what is going on if you're just listening? Hopefully you're watching so you can get in on some of this. And Dakota Jordan, you see that 68% contact rate. Not great, Bob, but that's why he's Tyler O'Neill, right? So Austin O'Verne, 71% contact rate, 32% K rate. Like I said, there's a little bit of a Jacob Marcy here, but a 150 speed. This guy missed a month, and he has 32 steals and 3 caught stealing. And this is just hilarious. This is out of a cartoon. 70% stolen base attempt rate. That means every time that O'Verne is on first base, 70% of the time he's stealing. 7 out of 10 times this guy's on first base, he's going to run. And he's still 32 for 32 stolen bases and only 3 caught stealing. So Austin O'Verne maxed out the F scores for speed, 150. And he's got a 109 power too. So 109 power, 102 hit, 97 discipline, 150 speed. Gets the good angles, bad contact, can take a walk, strikes out a lot, but a lot of stolen bases and a little bit of pop. So fun player, Austin O'Verne, number 6 in the T10, second time on the list. My 160 overall prospect. By the way, Dakota Jordan was my 166th prospect in my last rankings update. So I do like Dakota Jordan a lot too. So, and also over number 5 or number 6. Number 5. Can you believe that Henry Lalane did it again? Henry Lalane, I really, really don't want to put a guy back to back on the T10. And he was number 1 last week. So I wasn't going to do it and put him number 1 again because that's just, I'm trying to be fun here. Like, I don't want to put the same thing over and over again here. So Henry Lalane, this last week, this is what's so funny is he did exactly what I told him to do. I told him, hey, man, stop throwing this pitch.
Pena strikes him out. Megers swings and misses at the slider. DeLeo swings and misses at the changeup.
You should pay me to do this. So Henry Lalane, last time out, 11 strikeouts, 0 walks, 7 shutout innings, only 3 hits. The time before that, 12 strikeouts, 0 walks. So in his last 2 starts, he has 23 strikeouts, 0 walks, 4 hits, 14 innings. Absolutely ridiculous. If you want to hear about his pitches, I talked about it last podcast. I'm not going to get too deep into him. You talk about Owen talking about his O face when he's throwing the ball. He said his delivery face, but his delivery face is probably his delivery face for multiple meanings. I'll let that sink in. But Lalane, I mentioned last time that his slider, he's been throwing way more. It's his best pitch. He should throw the slider more. And then I said his sinker really, really sucks. He should probably not throw that pitch. And now look how awesome I am, because I just know he's got to be listening to this, because I've been talking about this, I've been writing about this, and he's like literally doing what I'm saying. And let's put up, not throw up. Let's put up or shut up, Tim. Put up his stats. I'm gonna put up and shut up, or shut up, and show you how right I am. Right, you are, Bob. So look at this. Last time out, no sinkers. He threw 30 fastballs, 36 sliders. Like I said, the sliders is his number 1 pitch now, and 18 changeups. He ditched the sinker. I told him last week that pitch sucks. Ditch it. Throw the slider more. Slider 43% of the time. Look at this. His last start. I'm trying to show everybody how amazing I am. His last start, he threw the sinker 9 times, and it's awful. Like, why are you going to throw a sinker that can't get a string strike or a ground ball? What's the point of a sinker if it's not going to get a ground ball? So he stopped throwing the sinker, and he's increasing the slider. So Henry Lalane, thank you for listening to this podcast. And you got to tell this sports drink to pay Tim instead of John. So pay Tim, don't pay John. Or pay Tim more, or pay him the same at least. I mean, come on. What's going on here? Anyway, thank you, Henry Lalane, for listening to the podcast. Number 5 on the T10. It's amazing what you've done getting on here twice in a row. All right, so that's that. This is a good one. I actually have to do a screen cap right now, because I ran this one because I told John, I was like, man, we need to get complex league guys and DSL guys on your Tableau. What's going on here? And you know what John tells me? He tells me there's no point because there's not enough data, but we still have high A and double A. So I'm going to put this up right now. And I'm not a coder. John is a coder. I'm a roofer. I own construction companies. I'm a roofer, and I put in impact windows. I'm not swinging a hammer. I'm just the owner. I'm actually like a more of just a glorified salesperson. if you want to get serious, as I degrade my own ability to do what I do at an amazing rate, because I have a 8-figure business. But anyway, number 4 is Leandros Matos with the Brewers Dominican League. And look at this. I had an AI make the F scores. I said, use the coding of the F scores from John's program and mimic it, and give me the mimicked F scores in the DSL. And I prompted it just right? And I got this data. And not anyone's going to try to steal my F scores, so I probably shouldn't have said that on this podcast. But it's not. I can tell this isn't right, but it did a good enough job that I'm going to post it anyway. And it probably did a better job than most people out there, because I know how to prompt it correctly. So don't steal that. I invented F scores. How dare you try to steal my idea, people? But anyway, look what it did here. So Leandros Matos has 8 home runs and 11 steals as a 16-year-old. The dude literally just turned 17 like 5 days ago, or like 4 days ago. So he's a 16-year-old doing this stuff in the DSL. Age adjusted WRC plus 184, which is the top of the Dominican Summer League. A 156 extra base hit plus. So this is how we know that the extra base hit plus is not accurate, because John capped it at 150. I think because of Aaron Judge, but otherwise it's like too much of an outlier. But he got a 156, so that just shows how good. 15 of 27 hits have been extra base hits for Leandros Matos, who's with the Brewers, of course. That's what the Brewers need. The Brewers need more good Dominican Summer League players who are just going to pop up and be like the next Jesus Mate, or Jesus Mate. And then they have other guys too. They've got like Frias, and like this is just one more guy. But Leandros Matos, 16 years old, just turned 17, got paid $300,000. He has a 78% contact rate right now. Really good air pull. Walking and Kang about the same amount. Only an 8.5% swing strike rate as a 16-year-old in the DSL, where most of these guys are running like 20% swing strike rates. And last week, Matos had 5 home runs, 6 extra base hits, hit 529, and had a steal. This guy's super interesting to me. Love the F scores. I have only seen like 3 videos of this guy, because I saw a video of him like doing like batting practice from when he was probably like 14 years old or 15 years old or something. I mean, he's only 16 now, so whatever. And I saw a couple videos of game action of him in the DSL. So there's not a lot out there to scout from. But with the small video that I had and the F scores that I was able to pull up, and my advanced AI coding skills, which are atrocious, because remember, I'm a roofer and I'm a construction guy and I put impact windows in. But I also have a franchise. So Perkins Roofing, the official roofer of MLB Data Warehouse, Perkins Roofing, and construction and franchising. Like I said, if you want to make $250K a year easy, just franchise with me. I'll show you. It's very easy. Yeah. See, John, I can make my own advertising. I don't need this sports energy drink company that's only going to pay you and not me, even though I get more viewers. Doc's not here. Someone has to be funny. So anyway, I give him a 35-55 hit tool, 40-50 plate approach, 40 out of 55 power, 55-60 speed. Number 3. I thought that was cool. Isn't this cool that I did that? I'm talking to myself here. I have nobody to talk to. I have no Doc. I have no anyone. Just the listener. Hopefully you're like, yeah, Tim, you're cool. Okay. All right. Let's get to number 3 here. Number 3, a Mariners pitcher. Bing! All the hairs on your arms should have just went up from that. A Mariners pitcher that we've never talked about on the show, that you've probably never heard of. Ooh, every hair on your body should be standing from me saying that. This is starting pitcher Colton Shaw, and he went to Yale. So this is a 7th rounder out of Yale, righty. Really, really good command. Colton Shaw last week, 11 strikeouts, 0 walks, 6 innings. And we're going to try to find, like, this guy he's in with the Aqua Sox. And it's funny because my friend Tyler used to work for the Aqua Sox, and they have like the worst camera angles in baseball. Like it's just terrible, atrocious camera angles. So we're not going to look at video from the last start because it's just, unless you're like me and you go to games all the time and you're used to watching from behind home plate from an upper view, like a scout, like that's okay for me, but I don't want you to have to bear through that. It took me a lot of games to get used to that camera angle. So let's put some video up here of this. No, not that one. Come on, producer Tim. I'm not even drinking. I'm drinking a freaking kombucha. So here we go. Here.
No walks in a season.
Let's mute that. Shut up. So Colton Shaw, guys, 7th rounder out of Yale. Not a lot of velocity, but he has racked up more velocity of late. So he throws a sinker primarily, and in college he was throwing like the low 90s, but now he's getting up to like 93, 94, 95. Mostly he can top at 96. And you can see I'm turning into a sinker guy, and I mentioned this on Twitter the other day, and nobody liked it and makes me mad. Is that there is a trend that nobody else is noticing, but I notice because I do the T10 every week who the best pitchers are. All the best pitchers, people, every week now are sinker ball pitchers. The best pitchers in the minors are guys that throw sinkers, sweepers. So you have one pitch going horizontally to the right, one pitch horizontally going to the left. Doesn't matter if you're a lefty or righty. And then you're throwing a killer changeup, like a baller changeup, or a gyro slider that drops right off the plate, straight down. So you're going left, you're going right, like 10 to 16 inches either way. Then you've got one pitch that just drops off the plate. And then maybe one other pitch in there. And that's it. Like 3 to 4 pitches, and that's it. And that's what this guy has. Colton Shaw. So Colton Shaw throws that sinker, mid-90s, low mid-90s. I give it a 50 out of 60. It has a lot of break to it. It's a really nice sinker. It gets a lot of ground balls. And he has amazing command of that pitch. So that's his primary pitch. And he also has a sweeper that has ridiculous. Look at this. There's the sinker. If you're watching, there's the sinker. Let's see if we can get the sweeper now. Give me the sweeper. Come on, baby. This video is way too long. What are you people doing? Anyway, let's get the sweeper. Nope, there's the sinker again. I'm trying to show you guys the movement on these pitches because it's really good. There it is. There's the sweeper. Look at that. How do you hit that? And so we don't have the pitch level horizontal movement data because he was in high A on this start, but I do have it. So we'll put that up there in a minute. But this guy has over 50% ground ball rate in the minors. This guy gets through 6 innings pretty much every time out through 80 pitches. Super efficient, 3% walk rate. Impeccable command here. And this is a really fun pitcher. 7th rounder out of Yale. So you know he's a smart guy. But I gave him a 50 out of 60 on the sinker, a 60 out of 60 on the sweeper, which he throws the sweeper 84 to 88. So he's got good velocity on the sweeper. And then the changeup, because like I said, you got to have a changeup or a gyro. Just like Ramon Marquez has the gyro. Colton Shaw and a changeup. Colton Shaw has the sweeper and the changeup. And then he's got a 55-60 command. Like this guy's got really good command. So Colton Shaw, really fun pitcher. Mariners starter out of Yale. Mariners, best pitching development organization. This guy, 7th rounder out of Yale. Really freaking good. Amazing command. Like, hair up. This is a guy in deep leagues. Probably nobody owns him. Go get him. If you're in a 30-teamer, I doubt anybody owns Colton Shaw. So please go buy Colton Shaw. That is your underdog of the week. Because like I said, we're going to have an underdog of the week. That's your underdog of the week is Colton Shaw. And I'm going to put his F scores up here so you can see. I'm not just trying to show you my blue eyes in the darkness that is occurring because it's 8 o'clock at my house. Boom. Let's go in here. Colton Shaw as I'm producing and talking through it at the same time. Look at this. 93 F stuff, 123 F control, 98 F ERA for Colton Shaw. And he's doing all this with a 375 BABIP against. That's crazy because the defense is so bad. That's why. That's what happens. Low A, high A defense is really, really bad. Even double A defense is bad. 16% swing strike rate over the last couple starts here. So Colton Shaw. Here he is, man. Look at this. Good pitcher. Look at this. A lot of strikes. I like Colton Shaw, Mariners pitcher, name to watch. Let's get to number 2, all right? Number 2 is a guy that everybody knows. It is Josue De Paula. Josue De Paula is really, really good. He's having the best season of his career. Just like Zaire Hope is having a really good season, some kind of more under the radar. Josue De Paula's season is not under the radar. Josue De Paula is having an amazing season. I was very skeptical of him before this year because he was very patient. He was only swinging like 35% of the time prior to this year. Now he's swinging 44% of the time. So he has a normal swing rate now, Josue De Paula. And his contact, 86%. Ridiculous on the season. So 44% swing rate, 86% contact rate, more walks than strikeouts, 15 home runs, 24 steals. The only thing I don't like is he's not hitting for power against lefties. So you can see, even though he does hit for contact against lefties, 84% contact rate, 297 average, only a 365 slug against lefties, 0 home runs against lefties. 617 slug against righties, all 15 home runs against righties. So he's basically no power against lefties, but he is at least hitting for contact. So he's not wasting the at-bats, but he's basically Nolan Shannywell against lefties. And then extra base hit plus, only 92. He's not hitting for doubles. Like we can look through here. The last couple weeks he is. But he's not hitting for as many doubles as one would hope for this year. So we want to see more extra base hits from him. But this week, 6 extra base hits, 2 home runs, 4 steals. So a lot more stolen base. He could go, I don't think he's going to go 30-30 like Baez, but I think he could go 25-35, Josue De Paula. And he's hitting 324, 25, 57. That's a killer slash. Not to mention, this kid is young for the level. He's like a young 21 at AA, 167 age-adjusted WRC+. plus. He's my number 14 prospect. Maybe he's top 10 now. If I had to redo my rankings, it's been a month and a week since I did my rankings update. Even though, like, if you're following on Twitter, you're like, Tim, what are you talking about? You just finished it like 2 weeks ago. Actually, if you subscribed to MLB Data Warehouse, you would have had all those rankings 6 weeks ago now. So you get, and on Twitter, you get them slow. If you want them now, you got to pay. I'm trying to make some money here, people. If you want the goods, pay for them. But anyway, 55 out of 60 hit tool, 60 out of 65 plate approach, 45 out of 65 power, 55 out of 55 speed. Josue De Paula, very, very good. Do you really want me to put a video of Josue De Paula? You've never seen Josue De Paula before? Okay, fine. We'll do it. I can hear someone saying, I want to see him. So we're gonna show a Josue De Paula home run here. Never seen Josue De Paula before. This is actually a good one. I like this. This is my favorite open stance view. Here we go. No, not that one. Boo, get out of here. I don't even see it. I don't know what I'm doing when I'm producing. This is what we're gonna look at. Boom. Open face view. Josue De Paula.
He is also grounded out to second. Here's the pitch.
I wanted to swing.
Swung out and a high fly ball, towering hit to right center field. Heading back to the warning track to the wall, and this one's going to clear the ballpark. And De Paula, a triple away from hitting for the cycle, is going to go yard.
All right. So my comp for Josue De Paula is a lefty Jordan Walker. Look, he's got the same stance as Jordan Walker. Like kind of relaxed, a little slumpy, hands low, legs spaced out. He's literally Jordan Walker, and he's got power and speed, and he was hitting the ball on the ground way too much until this year. Like, this is lefty Jordan Walker. That's I'm like the wizard of comps. I am the best at comps in the entire world. You know it. You know it to be true. Okay, so number one is a prospect that used to be in the top 150 for me. Now he's more like a top 400 guy. I think that was like 2 years ago. I had him as a top 150 when I saw him when he was with the Reds. Now he's with the Pirates. It is Sammy Stafura. So Sammy Stafura this last week, 7 extra base hits, 4 home runs, 2 steals, hit 536 this week. Stafura, really nice player. I comp him to Matt McLain. And one thing that I want to show you guys, but I don't have the wherewithal because I'm not good enough. I'm not a good enough producer to bring up a new page that John put me because we have a new hitter profile. The new hitter profiles on the F-Score Tableau things are much prettier than the current ones. So if you have the article, if you're looking at the article, you'll see them. If you follow on X and you're following as you're reading about, you will see what the new ones look like because I have the visuals on there and I screen capped them on there. But Sammy Stafura, because on the new ones, I got John to put Z-O swing. So we got Z-O swing. It's got a 39% Z-O this year. So not too shabby, people. 39%, 40% is good. That's considered plus is 40%. So he's like right there. But my comp for him is Matt McLain light. So while he does strike out a lot, he does not chase very much. So I think that that's going to come back down some. He actually is pretty good at making swing decisions and swinging balls in the zone. Because like I said, 39% Z minus O, 40% is considered plus. So he's like right on the periphery there. But F scores like him, 100 power, 102 hit, 98 discipline, 119 speed. Very well-rounded player, 15 stolen bases, 1 caught stealing, 30% stolen base attempt rate this year. So he's good on the bags. He's got some power. So I like Stafura, 9 home runs this year, but he's very volatile. You see a 31% K rate. You see a 65% contact rate. This guy is very bad at making contact, but he does take a walk. He strikes out too much. He has good swing decisions. He just has whiff in his swing. He doesn't have the best barrel control. He doesn't have a very good hit tool. But the good thing about his hit tool is he does barrel it. 10.5% barrel rate. So he does barrel the ball. And this is only his A-ball time. He's been hit in high A most of the season. But he does barrel the ball. He's good at barreling the ball, and he's good at getting good angles on the ball. So he does get good angles. He has good line drive rates, 26%. You see, even high A, it's a good line drive angles. So I give him a 35-40 hit tool, 50-55 plate approach, 40-50 power, 60-60 speed. That is number 1, Sammy Stafura. There's your top 10 for the week. Number 1 is Sammy Stafura. Number 2, Josue DePaula. Number 3, Colton Shaw with the Mariners pitcher. Number 4, Leandros Matos, DSL, short, second base, third baseman, Brewers. Number 5, Henry Lalane with the Yankees. He's a 2-week in a row. Only guy all year to do that. Number 6, Austin Overn, second appearance. Not 2 in a row, though. Number 7, Dakota Jordan, outfielder with the Giants. Number 8, outfielders Zaire Hope with the Dodgers. Number 9, David Hageman, starting pitcher with the Diamondbacks. Number 10, starting pitcher Ramon Marquez with the Phillies. And if you want more write-ups, subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse. You get Andrew Fisher, Charlie Condon, Owen Murphy, who just got called up, people. Owen Murphy just got called up. And what's crazy is he's not throwing the slider. So if you want to read about this, I'm not going to talk about it too long on this podcast. But Owen Murphy has not been throwing his best pitch, which is his slider. He's instead been throwing a gyro. He has 2 new pitches, a sinker, which is awful, which you should never throw in the pros. It's a 20-grade pitch in my mind. The sinker's terrible. The Owen Murphy, if you're listening, do not throw that pitch in the major leagues. It will get crushed. Do not throw that sinker. But he throws a gyro slider, which is only okay. It's a 40 out of 50 pitch. It's mid. But he's been throwing the crap out of that pitch this year, and that's why he hasn't been as good this year. He needs to go back to the slider. The slider is his best pitch. That's a 60 out of 65. I mean, on this fastball, I give him a 60 out of 65 grade 2 because of the ride. So his 2 best pitches are the fastball and the slider. Don't eliminate your second best pitch. He stopped throwing the slider a few weeks ago, or I guess maybe like a month ago, and it's his best pitch. Bring the slider back, Owen. That's your best pitch, man. We also got Owen. You'll read more about that in my write-up. So you got to go subscribe, people. Number 14, Alfonso Rosario. Number 15, Dylan Jordan, I love. Another of these sinker pitchers, and Dylan Jordan, really fun pitcher. So go read that write-up. You have to subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse if you want that. But those are my top 15. And Owen Murphy, I nailed the call-up on that one. So I was right on that. I picked him up in a 20-team league like 3 days ago. So I was on that. I nailed that call-up. So if you want more of my content, subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse. Tell John it's because of me. If you want Tim to make some money, so I keep doing this, make my wife happy. None of that money goes to me, by the way. I'm just buying crap for my wife, so she lets me waste my time doing this. So please subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse. Tell them because of Tim, and tell John to make sure that the advertiser pays Tim. Perkins Roofing. Peace out, everybody. See you next time.
Big Data Warehouse, yeah, we bring the spree. Prospects, DFS, betting strategy. John's grumpy, Tim scouting like a man possessed. Doc drafting comeback stories better than the rest. But the tools are elite and the content's free. And your fantasy trophy gonna look prestigious. ML.